Oh, good God. Randall Finn.
All right, go ahead.
Are we started?
Yes.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Five Boys in the Business, live from the bunker, whatever. And podcast where we talk about the business, our family, and all the shenanigans involved. You can check us out on any of the podcast channels. So iTunes, YouTube, Spotify. Harrison's on camera today because we're doing things remotely as we rotate staff. And I've got my sidekick,
Richie King here.
So we're here to talk about the various ongoings of life.
All the things that make life interesting and some of the things that aren't so interesting. So,
like homeschool.
Love homeschool.
We're killing homeschool now that we're finally in the groove. So I hope everybody else is as well. We're on to week whatever, 5, 10. I'm not sure, 6.
We have to, I think it's really important to draw a distinction. Never mind, I'm not going to draw a distinction.
So we're on a rotating schedule at work. So we are doing this remotely, and then we'll be back. Hopefully, everything will be back to normal next Monday. The staff schedules will go back to normal. We're going to start intermingling. We haven't heard yet from the state of Indiana as far as the stay-at-home orders, but we're assuming May 1st it expires because we have not heard otherwise. So
things will be back to normal May 4th.
If you're out there listening and you know that things aren't going back to normal, please let us know. Otherwise, we're assuming things are back to normal. We did learn some things from doing, our curbside kind of service. There were a lot of things that we learned that we really want to take advantage of, actually, that might make things more efficient in the future.
Add another service to the clinic.
What'd you say?
So add another service to the clinic, curbside pickup.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we really, really one of the things we really liked was surgery pickups at the back.
Okay.
So doing surgery pickups at the back door, because then the staff.
Was that all the cones back there?
That's why the cones are back there. Yeah, so people can park closer. Their dog doesn't walk as far if they've had surgery, and you don't. The staff, they can.
Right.
Get to the client faster. The client doesn't have to wait as long.
Right.
So there were some things like that were kind of discoveries that we made in the system.
Efficiencies.
Yeah, I'm always a big believer with, like I said, every negative there's a positive, and
I think that a lot of this experience, at least, has taught me. It's pushed a lot of technologies and processes that were probably on their way in any way, kind of pushed them to the front, and as people were kind of forced to utilize those, and I think it'll make adoption of those methods a bit easier. So, things like this, Zoom, I think, people that you can meet remotely, discuss things remotely, telemedicine, a lot of stuff that you guys did, some of the other efficiencies that you talked about with just operational things. I think, like you say, it's always trying to find the positive and the negative. So,
yeah.
So getting off topic from the clinic, I mowed my grass yesterday for the first time.
How was that?
First mow of the season, and I already broke my trimmer.
No, you didn't. How did you break the trimmer?
Brand new.
I'm joking. I didn't break it. All right, listen here. Okay, my yard. For those who don't know, my yard is in poor condition. I just bought a house, and and I haven't done anything to the yard yet. I'm currently having it go through, treatments.
Yes, here's a shout out. Blue Ridge Landscapes is doing. It's South River now. South River Landscape is doing all the work for you. Getting it up to par.
And the person who came out, Darren, he came out and he did a round of weed killer and fertilizer. And I waited 24 hours. I let it rain because that's when he said how it would really affect the lawn. And the mowing went well, but it's kind of bumpy. There's some spots in the lawn that don't look that great, right? And then I got my trimmer out, okay, and I started going along the edges like you do, right, around the house. And then there's this tree on the edge of my lawn, right, and it has like these little things sprouting up from the ground. But the little the things that are sprouting up from the ground they're kind of rigid. You know what I mean? And so, right. I was like, all right, let's rev up the thing and go for it. Yeah, let's see if we can power through. Yeah, right. And so I started, and lo and behold, it doesn't do it anymore. And I look down, and the wire string is gone, or the trimmer string is gone. And I was like, Oh boy. All right. I don't have any more. I don't know what to do. Lo and behold, I got some pliers. I got some cutters or plier, whatever you call them, trimmer. Pliers, and I ended up cutting them, and it went fine. But I ordered some more wire string, and we're all good to go. But
and I saw that trimmer there, and I thought, I wish you had asked me, because years ago I read an article, and I've bought this kind of trimmer ever since then. They said you want to get a trimmer with a straight shaft because it robs it of some of its RPM and torque if you go with a curved shaft. So when I saw that, for your purposes, it's fine. But every one I bought since then has a straight shaft.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, the weed eaters, you can get like the industrial strength, gosh, that's called line, the weed eater line.
Yeah, so it doesn't you don't rip through the line.
Yeah, I mean, and you can get. I mean, I think if you stay on top of it, it gets a lot easier. I think your lawnmower though is about as basic as it could possibly be. I don't think it does start. It does have a spinning blade. That's about it.
Yep, I don't have a whole lot.
I looked at it. I was like, wow, this is something. This is a Pawpaw King.
Yeah.
My grandfather used to have a bunch of lawnmowers, and they were about as basic. I mean, they would start, they would spin a blade. They didn't. I mean, there were no safety features, none. They had a throttle that you'd have to, start. Had a rabbit and a turtle. That was
it.
And they would, but yeah. So it's interesting to see that those back to basics lawnmowers still exist and are being sold still. So,
well, I don't have.
Your yard is small. Is I think it'll be fine.
The one cool feature it has is that it's a mulcher and a lawnmower. So there you go.
Okay, that's
I don't know what I need the
you
mulching
make sure you
for,
sharpen that blade on occasion, or it won't cut as well. And I'm not going to say who told me that if you don't keep the blade sharp, it makes the edge, the cuts ragged and can damage your lawn. It's a piece of knowledge I picked up years ago. But yeah, you want to keep your blade sharp. Otherwise, it's not as good for your lawn as it could be.
Interesting. Yeah, but I mowed it yesterday. It looks really good. It honestly looks way better than I thought it would. So
good. There you go.
The lawn
So when you put the weed killer on, did you go out and everything was brown?
Oh no, all the weeds are just dying. And I walked out there. Madeline was, she was at that back door, and my back door, I have back door has a window, like a big square window, and she was kind of looking out. She's kind of sipping her coffee, looking out in the backyard, and I was like, I walked behind her, put my arm around her. I was like, bye weeds, see you later.
Well, we did something fun this weekend. You and I hung the fixture in your bedroom.
Oh yeah, we did do that. Mm-hmm. That was
still
quite. Yeah, it looks great. Yep. Madeline, of course, I text Madeline. She's like, "Oh my gosh, it looks great. Maybe we should bring it down just a little bit."
I told you.
I was like, "Nope, sorry."
You. I looked at it. I was like,
sticking up.
That's gonna come down.
I was like, it's sticking up there, honey. Sorry. Not bringing it down.
You can bring it down. That's why Dad left you the extra wire.
I left you some extra lines. Sorry, the dog is
whatever.
We have our German Short Pointer here, and she is doing her job, and it's driving her nuts because there's so many smells here that she can't stay focused. Yeah. I don't know what's gonna happen when she goes back to Carmel.
Is Lance up there with you?
No Lance.
Thank God.
No Lance.
Tired of him. Yeah, I'm tired of him violating the carpet.
Yeah. Get ready. Moose is about to violate it even more.
Gosh.
Moose, you can chalk up to just being too young. Lance is an old man. He knows better.
No, Moose is that's a terrible excuse. Ugh, I don't know what to do with him.
Yeah, had a good weekend. Johnny's birthday. 14th birthday.
Johnny's birthday. Johnny turned 14. I can't even believe it.
Turned 14.
That picture you posted is so derpy. He looks so funny.
So
let me look up this picture real quick so everybody can see.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Oh my God, Johnny looks like look at there you go, everybody. Take a good look at this young man right here. Yeah, there you go.
Look how old he looks.
Look at that. Jesus.
Do you have the picture of everybody together, Richie?
I don't. Was it?
Oh,
yeah,
no,
there it is.
I do.
That's a cute one.
Here's everybody together.
All the 5 boys.
Oh, that's good.
Is Holden smiling? Of course not.
Holden's
smiling.
Is he really?
He is smiling.
This is the better one.
He has a
That's
little
got
grin.
everybody together. Can you see that one?
Wow. The squad right there. Look at that.
There's the squad. Everybody for Johnny's birthday. I can't even believe he's 14. It's crazy.
What a difference, that those years make as they march toward adulthood. And I compare the kids, your 8th grade picture, or when you were in 8th grade, and then Trevor's 8th grade, and then Holden was in 8th grade. Holden had it's something about 8th grade, especially with the last two boys, Johnny and Holden. They simply refused to cut their hair.
I bet I can find a picture of me in 8th grade on my Facebook. Hold on.
You had like a shaved head, didn't you?
Yeah.
A clipped hair. Yeah.
Speaking of, hold on. Let me find this picture real quick, and I'll.
So, are the hairdressing places opening in Indiana? Have you heard?
No.
I don't know. So.
Probably not. The oh, here we go.
Although even if they open up, are you going to be able to get in?
I don't know.
It's been so long.
Oh,
I don't know, but
you guys can't probably see this, can you? But anybody who was me freshman year in summer gym. Oh God, that's funny. Here, let me take a picture of this, and I'll show. Hold on, let me take a picture of this, and I'll show it to you.
Yeah.
Here, through the camera. Here you go. Can you see it?
Oh my God, I remember that.
Yeah. You're like a little kid.
Summer gym. Look how little you were. Oh dear God.
That's what's so funny. You see the freshmen that come in and they're still, they're just, making that march toward, being young adults, and then you get to, senior, and you're actually an adult. So I mean, a lot of times. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting journey. So Johnny had a good birthday. He didn't want much. He just wanted money. So, but we ate the cake and sang the song and
money, Chick-fil-A, and cake.
Chick-fil-A cake and his favorite, which is Charleston Spin Dip.
Yeah,
it's my favorite of everybody.
We need to figure out how to make that, by the way.
Oh, I know how to make it. I made it.
Really?
I made it that one time. The artichokes were a little too chunky, but it tasted pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's it's a good thing a great appetizer.
But going back to, because you said I had a shaved head, Madeline cut my hair. For those who, the past, I mean, everybody in quarantine has been, I mean, they've been growing mullets, and they've been, they haven't been able to go to the hairdresser, hairstylist, barber. And I was like, you know what? I don't care if it turns out terrible to shave my head. I don't care anymore. But we're gonna try and cut it properly. And I think she did a pretty decent job. Not gonna lie.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
there you go.
And I think I'm gonna buy her some proper equipment, so then she can keep doing it. So
there you go.
When I say proper equipment, I not only mean the scissors and all that, but I also mean a massage. I mean, it's gonna be like the whole. I get the MVP at
the whole 9 yards.
I'm gonna get a massager.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get her.
You're gonna buy her some clippers. She's gonna turn around and make you an appointment. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I know. So.
No, but I do think. I mean, I know. I was telling Mom yesterday we were driving, and I said my hair is driving me nuts because I usually go about a month between cuts, and it's usually pretty high and tight. Man, it's something. It's too bad. I may have to just bite the bullet and have her take it off.
Right.
Yeah. I think the whole squad should get.
What we should do is we should do that, and then everybody down here, and then have Holden down the end with all of his hair.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm okay with that. Holden needs a haircut.
He refuses to do it because of his braces. So.
Why his braces?
I don't know.
Okay,
so
Holden's brace. I will tell you, Holden's braces. The way in which he resists braces is legendary. The number of discussions that we had and options that we went through, and it's my mouth. I can do with what I want. My teeth. I'm like, yeah, but I'm paying for it. So,
good Lord,
it won't be a sad day when those finally go. Though once he got them, he realized it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But he waited so long. See, this is the problem. He waited so long because of his resistance that he's now running up against senior pictures, especially with this. He's supposed to get him off the summer, but it doesn't look. I think his next appointment is June 2nd. I think he's got maybe another adjustment.
Yeah.
All the senior pictures are years ago. You had to have them done by a certain date. Now it's just you had to go to one place like Graham's or something, have them taken, and now it's not like that. They just take them
wherever.
Yeah, it's very as long as you get one in the theater.
I mean, like we're not even doing. I mean, like no one's doing graduation parties. We're not doing.
I think they will.
Graduation's not till July.
I think they will this summer. Don't you think?
Crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really, honestly, I don't know.
I think once they open up the account, once things start to open up in the various states have started to do that, you'll see a cascade effect. And I would say within the next several months, things will be pretty much back to normal because people will see that to do this isn't the catastrophe that people have made it necessarily out to be.
Yeah.
So that's what I think is going to happen. And I think people are so I know a lot of states are really starting to bristle at some of these orders that they put out. So I don't think it's going to be long before things are on their way back to the way they were.
Yeah.
Which is good news. Very
Yeah.
good news.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. Things need to get going, please.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, luckily for us at the clinic, everything we've been able to help people keep everybody, their pets taken care of, and we have been so fortunate. None of our staff have been impacted. I mean, we've just the staff have been very mindful of where they're going after, when they're not at work, so to minimize their chances of having to have their workday affected. And it's been awesome. It's been a true blessing the way it's worked out as far as us being able to care for everybody's pets.
Right. No, I agree. And we have seen more puppies than we can handle. So.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that. We need a creative name. What do we? Oh, COVID cuties. Isn't that what we said we were going to call them?
That's what Elise came up with. Yes.
Yeah. So COVID cuties. We've had as of Friday, 3 weeks.
Sounds like a bad website you'd have to go to.
3 weeks worth of work. We had 55 puppies.
That's not. It's funny that we think that's so surprising, but especially given the times and the events, that's not. It's always surprising to see those kind of numbers, but I totally get people going out and getting a new puppy.
Oh yeah, because one, they have time to take care of it at home, and then two, it brings comfort. It's something fun to do. You can,
and some of those puppies are extraordinarily cute.
Oh my gosh, they're so adorable.
Let me show.
So we're gonna do a montage. We're gonna do a montage, right, Harrison? When it's over.
Let me show the one that melted good old Richie King's heart. The one that. Here we go, little Nora.
Oh, Nora! Look how cute she is. Oh my God, she's so cute.
Yep. So we have a question here from Karen Eichelberry. She said, a very unique question. She says, "What do you think about people and the raccoons they keep as pets? Mainly that a lot of them carry the roundworm Balis ascaris tosacara." My spelling isn't quite right. I don't think a lot of people even know about it, and they really need to know what it is they're dealing with. Thanks, Karen.
Yes, Karen, you're exactly right. People should not have raccoons as pets. Absolutely not.
Any more than you should have other.
Because that is a roundworm. Balascaris toxcara is a roundworm that actually doesn't know where to go when people get exposed to it. So if a person is exposed to the roundworm and then the roundworm, they get the roundworm, it goes to their brains and it can kill you. And so it is a legitimate concern. And really, I mean, besides even Balascaris, you've got distemper, which can affect the raccoon population. And we see it in the raccoon population. Most people think rabies, but that's still not in Indiana, is not our number one carrier of rabies in Indiana. But Balascaris is a definite concern, so much so that when you have raccoons, even wild raccoons that come onto your property that get into your trash can or, leave excrement in your house or whatnot, or, around your house, you got to be really careful when you're cleaning that stuff up, because you could potentially be, not that every raccoon carries it, but you could be exposing yourself to that roundworm, and that could be, very problematic. So question.
Yes. Good question. Very unique question. Thanks, Karen.
Yeah.
And people should go to their local veterinarian or All-Star to get their Simparica, because it's tick season, everybody. It's coming.
Okay, where did that come from? It is tick season. You're correct. And Simparica is our tick preventive of choice.
We are currently promoting, like you just said, Simparica Trio.
Simparica Trio. It's called Trio. Oxydectin and Simparica all in one tablet. So now you no longer have to give Interceptor and give Simparica. You don't have to give 2 tablets. You only have to give 1.
And if you need metronidazole or gabapentin or trazodone, we have those too.
Can you tell Harrison's learning a lot about medicine?
As we've been doing this schedule, Harrison's been helping out a lot. So he's picking up a new skill set that I'm sure is exciting for him. So.
Oh gosh.
You learn every day. You're not learning.
Because some people know, we've been alternating schedules, and so last week I was on, and then today I'm on because of the podcast. But I have thoroughly enjoyed learning new techniques on how to hold dogs and how to hold them for a catheter and all that stuff, you know. And this actually brings up another question I had, or I was going to ask one of the RVTs, but do they make like a machine or like a tool? Because right now, currently, for nail trims, you use the Dremel, right, or the nail clippers. But is there a tool where like it's like a Dremel, but like when you get just on like the quick or whatever, like it like beeps or something like that? Like I'm surprised like that hasn't been made or anything. You know what I mean? Where it detects where the quick is.
There
Really?
is no.
Interesting. I feel like the person
Yeah.
who'd make that would make millions.
Well, I think it's all, there's no. I mean, the machine would sense it, right?
Yeah, I don't know how it would sense it because there's so much heat. So I don't know if
that's for us to figure
maybe
out.
just by the sheer hardness of the thing that it's going through.
I don't know. Yeah, I just thought it was interesting about why that hasn't been made. Yeah, I don't know.
Invent that for everybody. People would love that.
What was the thing they had? It was basically a Dremel, but you hook it up to like it was something petty.
Oh, Penny Paws.
Petty Paws, yeah.
Yeah, but it had a guard on it. That thing was so annoying.
Yeah.
One, the Dremel speed was so slow. You're like 5 hours later, you're still dremeling the nail. You're like nail number 2, you know, and it had this guard, so you had to like feed the nail through the guard.
Right.
And I was like, this is pointless. Like that's so frustrating.
Yeah.
I totally get that. Yeah, I mean, some of those, yeah.
Well, now though, you know, we were seeing so many nail trims and whatnot because of the grooming facilities being closed.
Oh, right.
But now, and we do a lot of nail trims anyway, but we were doing even more. And now, as of Thursday, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, somewhere in there, they opened up grooming facilities. Last week. So now the grooming facilities are now considered essential. They're able to work, and so that's been really helpful because
that's interesting because we have
there really are a lot of breeds that if you don't groom them, it is going to be a medical issue. You know, like the continually hair growing dogs or dogs that need their feet trimmed, like hair trimmed to their feet, like they're going to be uncomfortable. They're going to get mats.
Right.
And then it's traumatic for the dog later. I mean, so I was surprised that and besides, they're working one-on-one with the dog. Like I couldn't understand why.
I think they painted with such a broad brush when they were making those rules or whatever that, you know, and everything was moving so quickly that it's not too surprising they excluded them. It's probably more surprising they didn't include them sooner.
Yeah,
because that's actually that's interesting because within the past few days on your most recent COVID-19 video, we've had a few people ask, you know, like, I'm a groomer, is it okay if you know, am I safe to go in and like groom a dog or you know, like stuff like that, you know? So speaking of the COVID video, thank you to everybody who has watched it. It is now currently at almost about to surpass 61,000 views, which is what the first COVID video got. So thank you to all of those who have watched that and hopefully you learned something. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, hopefully we learned some new facts and figures. Richie's stepping out of the picture to go take care of the dog.
And then for those who want to learn even more about veterinary medicine, we recently put out a day in the life where Dr. King herself, aka Mother, did a gastropexy on a St. Bernard or Bernese?
St. Bernard, yeah.
St. Bernard named Swish. So very interesting
stuff.
Your
video footage of that was really good. You could really see what I was doing. I wasn't very optimistic that people would actually be able to tell what I was doing.
At the very beginning, like when we started doing Day in Life at the very beginning of when I started at the clinic, I didn't necessarily know, because when you're in the surgery room, you have that one light that you bring down, right? And then the rest of the room is, with the camera, it looks dark, and so like I didn't know how to mess with the exposure and like the shutter speed and all that, but now I know what to do, and so it looks really good. So
I thought it was shot very, very well.
I'm really happy with how the footage turned out. So but
you did a good job. It looks good.
Yeah.
So we'll put it together. I do think we should put together the montage of all these with some cool music.
Right. I would have to
So if you're out there and one of your puppies, you know, we'll announce when we do it so that everybody can watch and find their dog, and that'll be kind of cool. And then, so. Yeah,
I'll have to look for a lot. I don't know if I'll get all 55, but I will get a lot of them.
Oh, no, we can. We can do it like the employee spotlight or the Richie Reviews one. I don't know, the one that you have where you have all the.
Oh, yeah.
They come in.
The patchwork.
Like the patchwork kind of looking.
Like the intro.
The intro. Oh,
yeah. I mean, I could do that. Yeah. I'll just need to.
That's really
I'll
cool.
need to find all. I'll need to find all of them. If I don't, I've only taken. I would say I probably have like half of them. I don't know if I have all of them. So.
A ton of them. So if you've gotten a puppy, well, then what they should do is send you pictures.
Oh, yeah. Send a pic in.
If they've gotten pictures during this COVID crisis, send them in so we can put them in the montage.
Yeah.
For sure.
Go for it.
So,
go for it. I'll take them.
Let's see here. What else?
I will take
is
them.
going on?
What else is going on with the clinic? Boy.
You think of anything else that's?
No. I mean, we've kind of covered all the changes. Can you think of anything else we haven't covered, Harry?
Nope. Not really. Not really.
That's we were joking earlier about Simparica and whatnot, but it is important that now we're into April, into almost May, basically, that you get your pet on tick control. Mm-hmm. We've had a number of patients, that have tick-borne illnesses, and it's just not worth it. It's so much easier to prevent it.
Right.
So,
especially if you travel to southern.
And then definitely with the 12-month ProHeart injection, take advantage of that. That keeps you from having to remember to give your heartworm prevention. It's a deadly parasite, so let's make sure we get those guys protected as well. Otherwise, you're giving something monthly, which is fine, but it's much more effective to give it once. And
absolutely it is. Because we all forget to do it.
Including this person.
Us.
So
even those of us that shouldn't forget do forget.
Yeah. What? Yeah. You tired today? What's going on?
Is that mowing the yard? What it is?
Mowing the yard wore you out?
I will gladly mow the yard. It's honestly kind of peaceful doing it in the morning. Like I did it like 9:30 in the morning on Sunday or yesterday. And so like I like doing that stuff in the morning on the weekends, like either waking up and taking Moose for a walk right after I wake up or doing stuff like that. I don't know. It's a nice start to the day.
Nice start.
Are you going to start to cut it perpendicular? If you cut it one way and then go back and cut it another way?
No. You're going to Trevorize it?
You're going to Trevorize the thing. That's the only way you get everything.
I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if I could do that with my yard. I mean, I probably could if I really wanted to, but it's a very, I don't know.
It's not full enough to do yet.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it's a very weird, like, it's not a weird yard, but like the way it is laid out, it would be really interesting to try and, mow it perpendicular like that. With yours,
where are you at on your? Where are you at on your fence? Did you put in for a permit yet?
No. Oh well, I was going to do that this week. I'll probably end up still doing it this week. But I'm going to get on that as soon as Madeline gets down here. Actually, as soon as she gets down here, because that's the last big thing for the house that we have to do.
Right.
So I've had to have multiple talks with her about just focusing on the fence and not the bathroom or the cupboards or all this stuff. We have to do one thing at a time. So
one thing at a time. That sounds good.
I need to figure. I know how much fence we need now. It's around 220 feet. I just hope that I can like walk into Lowe's or Home Depot and be like, hey, like this is what I need. Like show me where it is, and we can like put in an order or something. You know what I mean?
All you'll do is go in and, once you know what you need, based upon the number of linear feet, you'll just go in and say, I need this many planks, this many cross members, this many posts, this many bags of concrete, and then have it delivered. I think it's $75.
Okay.
You'll just drop it in your driveway, and that's so much easier than going back and forth and getting stuff. Because a fence, even though yours is going to be somewhat small, unless you have a truck or something, it's going to take forever. Honestly, it's worth, in my opinion, the delivery charges, have them drop it, and then you can go.
Right. Do you how do I we can talk about this later, but how do I calculate from the amount of feet I have to like the amount of pickets I need, the rails?
Well, so let's say if it's 200 feet, if you wanted the post to be 8 feet apart, then you would just say, okay, 200 divided by 8, and that's roughly the number of posts you need.
Gotcha.
And then maybe get a couple extra, and then go back, and then same thing with, okay, well, how many 8-foot sections do I need, and how many cross members per 8-foot section?
Right. Okay. I needed them to come fix my internet first. Still having problems.
It's soon.
The saga continues. It's Sunday.
What day are they coming to the clinic to fix it?
I swear, if they miss Sunday, like if they don't come on Sunday, I'm I'm gonna lose it. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have a great story.
So what they're gonna do is they're gonna show up and they're gonna go, oh, it's just this thing, and they're gonna do one twist, and it's
right. I know,
thing.
right?
Like,
Jesus, I know. That's what I was worried about the most. Was like it could have been something that I could have done, but I waited an entire month for it, and now like I've read, if you go onto the subreddit for Xfinity, it is just horror story after horror story of
that's good news, right?
Of not even just like my problem, but just so many other problems. Like there's this one thread or this one post I read of this guy who just moved into a house. It was kind of out in the country. It was kind of out in the country, but also kind of close to close enough to the point where you didn't have to drive like 45 minutes to go get groceries. And so apparently they didn't have a line or like a connector or anything to their house. And so they needed a tech to come out or a contractor, whoever, to come out, set this up, get a line up to the pole, and then you're good. Okay.
Yeah.
He had 3 techs come out, and none of them did what they were supposed to do. And then to even get the 3 techs to come out, his appointment for each of those 3 techs got canceled like 3 or 4 times back to back. And then he called the lady on the 4th time after it got canceled and was like, hey, I need these people to come out. And the lady was like, oh, that's weird. Your account got deleted. And she's like,
oh my God.
And he's like, why is this happening? Like, I don't, and he worked.
Well, you know, it's,
and he worked,
and I don't know about Xfinity, but I know with my experience with DirecTV is a lot of times they'll sub some of these things out. So
and that's what he's saying.
With DirecTV, and you're actually dealing with a sub,
right.
So they don't always have. It's a little bit their priorities may be a little different.
Right.
Than, I had an experience here where I had an appointment set up, and the guy showed up, and he was supposed to set up internet and satellite, and he said, "Oh well, your internet signal's too slow. I can't do anything." I'm like, "Well, can you put the satellite up?" No, it's not on the work order. I'm like, "Dude."
Yeah.
So I mean, I run into that all the time.
So I hope that, because in that post the guy said that all of them are contractors, and for whatever reason all of them were Russian. That was just a funny bit.
Well, my guy wasn't Russian, but
that's funny.
Well, that's like it's up there with Johnny's theory that all mattress stores are owned by the mob and they're laundering money. It's like, if you're watching Ozark.
No, Jesus.
Oh, God.
But yeah, I hope they come and fix it. I pray.
I'm sure it'll be something stupid. It'll be something dumb.
Well, it's a drop bury job. So they're going to take up the line, and they're going to,
take up the line.
That's what drop bury. I mean, that's what a drop bury is. I don't know. I mean, that's what I looked it up.
Bury?
Yeah, a drop bury. That's what it's called. Is that they either take up the line and look at it and fix it, or they completely just put down a new line and then just put it back.
If somebody nicked it. I wonder if something happened where somebody was digging something and it just
I don't know.
Messed up your line.
I don't know, but I hope that.
I wonder if somebody took a tiller through there. Do you think that might be the case? They might have nicked it that way. I don't know. It happens. I've heard of that happening before.
It'll be interesting. I mean, it's not that far from the pole. Like the way what.
You did that.
I'm saying. I said somebody maybe went through a tiller. I was like, I've heard of that happening before because that's kind of what happened to us. The kids come running out. Still have to do that. Don't ask.
I know. I was thinking about that the other day, right? About when I first started playing video games and I wanted to play online, and then we had to go through this whole process of learning how to get the internet downstairs so I could play. And it was a completely
No, we had to learn, or did you go and say, Dad, can you do this for me? And then Dad had to go figure out how he's going to snake the Ethernet cable.
No. That was that was when I started to learn about like Ethernet cables and like hardwired connections, whatnot. That's when I started to educate myself. But like right off the bat, when I first started playing online, we had that botched like Netgear, I don't know, like extender downstairs that only worked half the time. And then you had to go. It ran all the way upstairs, and it got connection upstairs somehow. I don't even know how, but yeah, those are good times. Back
good
when
times.
Yeah.
Technology has definitely changed. It's crazy.
Yeah, back when I first started learning about technology and being the techie person of the family.
Well, now even for the clinic, all the things that we're able to offer, that we couldn't do, with the telemedicine or. The VitusVet connections, or all of it is just, it's such an easier way for people to communicate with their professionals, with their healthcare professionals.
So you asked about the internet for the clinic. These people are coming next Wednesday from 11 to 2. For everybody watching, okay, let me tell you this, okay. my parents are not the most techie people. They keep up with the times, all right, but they're not the most techie, okay? And so,
Well, yeah, we
and
are.
so,
What are you talking about?
and so, my mother. She asked me, she says, "Hey, we're having trouble logging into the VPN at work for the doctors that work from home. Apparently, the upload speed is bad. Can you fix this?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And so I call Comcast Business, and I say, his name's Tevin, very nice guy. I still have his contact info.
Is he Russian?
No, he's from Philadelphia. And he says, "Oh, yeah, like this hasn't been changed since 2003. I'm like, "What hasn't been changed since 2003?
That's not true.
He's like, "The
That's
plan."
not true. What happened
He's like,
was
no. Let me
No,
finish.
Go ahead.
And I said, "What hasn't been changed?" And he said, "The internet plan." And I was like, "Well, what is it right now?" And I was like, 20. He's like 25 up upload speed and 5 down. And for anybody who doesn't know, that is terrible internet, especially for a business. Okay, a successful business, mind you. Okay, and so I say that is
Yeah, but we didn't need it.
I say
that's the point.
I say,
let me
Father,
interject for
Richie, hold
let
on,
me-
hold on, Richie, hold on.
You just can't stand it. There's nothing
And I say,
Go ahead,
I say, Tevin, that is absolutely horrid. Okay, we're gonna fix this. And he says, "Yes, we are, Mr. King." I was like, "You're right, Tevin." And so I switch it. The internet speeds we're planning to get the internet speeds, up and ready to go. And lo and behold, I was curious. I was like, "There's no way." "There's no way it's still 25 up or 25 down and 5 up. Like, there's no way. Like, maybe it's a different account. Maybe it's something's messed up. I don't know." I go around to 4 different computers within the clinic, and I run an internet speed test. All of them only get up to 25, and there's only 5 up. So it's accurate. And
Well,
now,
okay, so this is the best of my memory was, and we ran into some issues when we were implementing the voice IP system and the Vocera system, and I could swear, and the reason I take issue with 2003 was that I swear years ago the internet was maybe $50 or something, and then we called, and then they were supposed to have increased our speed, which is why the bill went up to what it is now.
Well,
And that's why it may not have. And so, and I may not have. My thinking is that someone else was doing it, so maybe it really wasn't done.
Right.
So when that guy looks at it and says it hasn't changed since 2003, but see, when we did this stuff, I mean, they never brought it to our attention either, IT companies. So that's why I just never addressed them.
That is why I've always been so adamant about, like, because they tell you something, but they tell you something, but it's very well could turn out to be something else. And it happens. Right. It happens so often for whatever reason with internet companies, internet service providers. By the way, Tina says, "Harrison, you're cracking me up." Thanks, Tina. But it happens so often with internet companies, and so that's why I went around to the 4 computers and tested the internet, because if it came up and it was like 50 down and 10 up, I would have been like, okay, then something's wrong.
What's fiber optic? Isn't it 10x broadband? That was like 1,000 up.
Oh yeah, if you get fiber, it's like instant gigabit speeds. It's fantastic, but that won't happen for a while.
What's the speed that you? What's the speed of the plan that you changed it to?
I don't have fiber optic, but I currently
no at the clinic.
At the clinic, it's going to be, I think, 500 down and 35 up, which I guarantee people are going to notice the difference like that, like around the clinic. They're going to be things are going to load quicker. Things are going to, I mean, it's going to.
Isn't it fascinating that they can do that and then the infrastructure doesn't change?
Yep.
It's the same cables, same signal, but yet it's just, I mean, you have to pay a premium for it. I get it.
Well, most of it is up to the equipment, because you need the right. You need the right modem to run those speeds. Because, I mean, for example, my current modem, or the one that I was renting from Comcast, which don't ever rent modems. The one I was renting from Comcast could not get up to gigabit speed, so I ended up buying my own that could get up to those speeds. But anyway, I don't want to bore people with.
It's all in education, isn't it? And it is, what's fascinating to me is we kind of going back to what we were talking about at the beginning about changes in technology and habits, and how those speeds will continue to change people's habits from an on-demand standpoint, from a remote kind of communication standpoint. I mean, I think the more that those tools are available and the more that the internet allows for those tools to be used,
Right.
it just the more it would be more and more integrated into our lives. And
Right.
people have talked about the Internet of Things and how there was a guy years ago. Last name's Cianfrocco, but he runs a security company in New York City, and he talked about the Internet of Things and how eventually the internet will fade into the background, much to the same in the same way that electricity is faded into the background. It's an ever think about it, it's just there. His was more, his comments had to do more from an industrial standpoint, but it's fascinating. It's interesting times.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah. No, it is interesting. Yeah.
and and what else is fascinating is how much we've become dependent on it. And when you go to a place where there isn't an internet,
oh my
like,
God,
I can't do anything. Wow. Okay. What are those DVDs? What are those strange silver discs over there?
This brings up a great thing that just.
Speaking of, I got to say this real fast. You remember 2 Christmases ago when you got the turntable? We bought you the turntable. And you're looking at the record, and you go, I don't understand how the music gets from this to this.
No, it's not. No. Well, no, I know that. I mean, yes, I did say that, but I think people misinterpreted it as like. Well, first off, people might misinterpret that as I looked at the record player and was like, how do I get this to work? That's not what I was thinking. What I was thinking was you have that.
How do you get the music?
Yeah, you have the record with the lines on it, and then you put it onto the record player with what's the thing that you call the
needle?
The needle that you put onto the record player, and then it gets the music from that. It doesn't make sense. It's
because there are grooves in the record.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense that the needle produces music.
That is fascinating though, because that's your paradigm, right? And you're like, everything electronic. You grew up with all these. You're like, how does this read this? And it's fascinating. Just the same way that if you gave Johnny a phone book and said, hey, look this up.
No,
I think
no. See, that's
like fax machine, like the fact that it goes across a telephone wire and comes out as words.
Right.
Like that's the same kind of thing. It's like, how does that even work?
No,
if somebody explained to you the technology behind the needle and the record and the grooves,
right.
It would make sense probably.
Well, I don't know. It's different with like the telephone pole because I understand that because it's kind of like it's like any other cable. It's like a USB or like it's anything like that. And with a cassette tape, like for me, it makes sense because you have the tape. That's not like I don't know what it is about the record player and the records, but I just don't.
Throws you off.
Yeah, I just don't understand.
It's fascinating too, though. I mean, we've become so accustomed to streaming and things being on demand. Even at your cell phone, I mean, so many things. I think someone brought up they had a thing the other day, a rotary phone. Years ago, women would have these. They're popular. You put them on the end of pencils, and that's what you would use to dial a number. Because if you didn't want to mess your nails up, you'd have to do it. Yeah. And I was like, it's so funny because if you give someone a rotary phone now, they're like, I don't even know what is this strange contraption.
But going back to because you're talking about no, I had a quick story to tell. So Calvin or her dad comes over to help me hang up this light, right? He comes over in the middle of the day to look at it. He decides he needs some tools, so we wait until later in the day. But on that first visit that he came over, he brings Calvin because I don't know why you had Calvin with you, but you had Calvin with you, and he comes over. He comes over, and the way that Calvin lives his life is hilarious. He comes into my house, okay? He doesn't even say hello. He doesn't even say how you're doing. Mind you, he's 9.
No, Bibbs, he's 8.
He's 8. He comes into my house, okay, and he says, Harrison, do you have Wi-Fi? I'm like, yes, Calvin, I have Wi-Fi. He's like, what's the password? Mind you, with Calvin's brain, he completely forgets about the Wi-Fi as soon as he sees the cookies on my shelf. And so he goes to the cookies, eats a cookie, and then realizes
takes a bite out of a cookie.
Yeah, takes a bite out of a cookie and realizes these aren't regular cookies. And so while I'm in the bedroom hanging up this light with Dad, he comes in there. He's like, Harrison, what flavor or like what kind of these cookies? What kind of cookies are these? And I was like, they're chocolate. He's like, huh, interesting. Or he didn't say huh, interesting, but he said, huh, okay. Takes another bite. He just like kind of like chews on it, kind of sits there, and then he ends up just like spitting it. He ends up spitting it in the trash can. I was like, what's wrong? He's like, I don't like those. I was like, yeah, because they're vegan cookies. He was like, vegan? I was like, no, vegan. I was like, they're vegan cookies. It was just so funny because the sequence of events, like, it was hilarious.
No, but it is fascinating because the way that they're entertained and what they do, the way that, the videos they watch, and it's fascinating. And same with you, though. I mean, I think I mean, how you came up and the technology you had available to you, and how much that's changed over the past decade, 5 years even.
He had nothing to do there. He was messing around with the drill battery and was like, Harris, can I plug this in? I want to play with it. I was like, well, you don't really play with it, but go ahead, I guess.
So yeah,
sure, whatever.
I have a question. You know, you were talking about online gaming before I stepped away for a second. I don't know what it is. When you used to play online games, it was so quiet compared to the way the kids play online games today. I am outside sometimes in the front of the house and they have their windows cracked. And I think if I were walking past and didn't know what was going on, I would think it was a madhouse in there.
Well,
as Holden screams and Johnny's upstairs banging on the floor.
Well, I didn't normally. Can you guys hear that dog outside?
Yeah.
I didn't normally play with people when I played online. I was usually a solo player now because nobody. I mean, really? At the time, nobody really had online was very. I wouldn't say it was still new, but it was still like kind of
wasn't as prevalent as this today.
Yeah, and so nobody.
And it was really most of it was all this the yelling and hollering.
Right, and so nobody really had. Xbox Live, for example, and so when you have like today, like it's very, very, it's a massive thing, and then you have Fortnite, which is a very cohesive team-based game, and so like you have the screaming. At least for me, the screaming comes from directing people to go places, right? I can only imagine what Madeline thinks when she moves in, and I'm in my office like screaming, like 240 West.
They go through more controllers. Calvin brought me. He goes, "This is broken. I don't know how it happened." I'm like, "I tell you how it happened."
See, that's ridiculous because I never broke it. That's just because they get angry over nothing.
Hold on, buddy. What happened there? Can you see us still?
Yeah, I can see you.
Yeah, it's just minimized.
Just pull it. It's probably just on the taskbar.
Well, we don't do.
What'd you do?
I didn't do anything.
This is a great example of technology of them using technology right now. It's probably they minimized the video and now they can't find it.
I can't see you though.
You can't see me?
No.
Yes, you should be able to. All right, everybody, watch live as they try to troubleshoot Zoom. This is a great example of. Oh God! What would they?
I love it so hard because it's so true.
What would they do without me?
I'm trying to drag that sucker.
You'd be surprised as to what.
Oh God!
Oh God! Because when I used to live there, I was the regulator of technology, and so now it's just.
There we go. No, don't leave meeting. Cancel meeting.
Okay.
You see me?
There we go.
He's over.
Wow! Only took 5 minutes.
There we go. That was a record pace.
There you go.
All right. Well, listen, before we wrap up today, I want to
do anything.
I want to make sure people know that we got some guests coming on soon.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. We have had well, ever since COVID, we haven't been able to.
Dry spell with our guests.
Yeah, we originally had 2 or 3 guests in April for each. We almost had April filled each week, but unfortunately, due to all this stuff, we have not been able to do that. So
now we have, so in May, we're going to have our guests. We're going to have Bobby Cox, who's the director of the IHSAA Sports.
But why is he more important to you?
Because he was my coach.
When
I was in 7th grade, 7th, 8th, and 9th grade.
Wow.
He taught me a lot about
1982?
I don't know. I can't count back that far. But
wait, 7th grade?
7th, 8th, and 9th grade. He was instrumental in my development as a person and my work ethic. So
there you go.
He is going to be on, and he's actually retiring from IHSA. So, and then I'm really tried hard. Speaking to Harrison's technology stuff, I Instagram messaged my Peloton.
Let me pull her up.
Lady that I really like.
What's her name?
Leanne Hainsby.
Instrumental in getting us through COVID with a positive attitude. And she has such catchphrases as music is magic, which it is because music is magic.
She's in England, and so it's
and
cool.
So at
Their
the clinic,
classes are good.
Yes, at the clinic, everybody knows that I think music is magic, and it changes your demeanor and how you feel about your day. And so when I was writing on Peloton, I came across this chick, and that's how she views life too. And I was like, this is amazing.
So we're trying to work our magic to see if she would come on.
Join us on the podcast. So we're working on that.
We'll see.
And then some of the some of the people running for state office.
Yeah,
We're
working
going to try and
on
reach out to them.
Gosh, Scott Baldwin.
Scott Baldwin,
and
who's
then
a client, yes, and
Sparks.
Sparks and
Sparks.
Henderson are both also running. So we're going to try
Yeah.
and get them on in May as well. So hopefully we'll have
A lot of
some
good guests.
other guests for you as we get back in the clinic on May 4th.
Mhm.
So
So we should be back to normal May 4th and ready to rock it.
we'd like to mention, don't forget to check out asbcmerch.com.
We can outfit you from head to toe.
So don't forget to check out that website.
If you want to see a bunch of cute puppy pictures and some great videos, go check out our Facebook page. It'd be much appreciated as we put out quality content along with quality pictures.
Quality pictures.
Yes, it was world.
Actually, there is a lot of good content.
It
It's
was.
very fun, and if you need a laugh, there's some great things on there.
Yeah.
And we've got some really fun things coming in May.
Yeah.
So we're super excited to boost everybody's moods and get everybody ready for summer. So
Get ready to rock it. So
Yeah.
be a blast.
you can close us out.
I think we just did.
You got to do the closing line.
What's the closing line?
You got to say, okay, everybody, we'll see you next.
Okay, everybody. We'll see you next time on Five Boys in the Business. I'm Richie King.
I'm Emily King. We'll see you next Monday.
Stay safe.